My name is Nina. I'm a clinical dietitian for the Center for Community Health and Prevention, and today I'm going to talk about how to make some holiday treats into a more satisfying snack or meal. And I find around the holidays that we get gifts by way of food quite frequently, and sometimes I have a hard time utilizing those holiday treats to get some use out of them, but also to not have them linger around the house as much. So I'm going to try to combine two of my favorite things, which are the holidays, and then also fiber, which is another nutrient that we'll talk about as far as ways of making a snack more satiating. So the first holiday snack I wanted to cover were hot chocolate packets. And hot chocolate packets we always end up getting in some form or another, and I wanted to find a way to make this a little bit more satisfying but still enjoy the taste of hot chocolate. So we'll talk about this. And then the other holiday treat that I have is actually a homemade one that we were given, and it's just some sort of tree bark. You can also do this with the same type of snack with peppermint bark, or if you have holiday treats like holiday M&Ms or other chocolates, you can also utilize that for the other treat that I'll be making as well. And I'm also going to utilize some of these little candies. This is a chocolate bar, but it has peppermint in it, so I'll show you how to tie that into some of the recipes too. So the recipes we're going to make today are, first we're going to make a overnight oats recipe that has some hot chocolate mix in there. You can also make this on the stove if you want it to be hot and more kind of mirroring hot chocolate, but I'm going to be using overnight oats instead just to make it a little bit simpler. And then the other treat that I'll be making with the other candies that I have is going to be a trail mix. So a way to still enjoy those foods, but then also have it be, like I said, a more satisfying and crunchy and salty treat that you can enjoy year round. Okay, so we have the overnight oats right here. So I did the oatmeal, the hot cocoa mix. I did a little bit of almond milk. You can use your own favorite type of milk. It can be non-dairy or it can be dairy. If you wanted to have a little bit more protein, you can do a dairy type milk, just like regular milk. I also did chia seeds, and you can do more or less chia seeds if you like. I tend to do a little bit more, but that adds in a whole bunch of fiber, adds in some omega-3s, and then also a little bit of protein as well. Now I'm gonna show the end product because this is obviously needs to sit overnight still. So this is my other type of overnight oats. It's the same recipe, but just it's been sitting overnight. And you can kind of tell that the consistency is a little bit more thick. And so what I like to do on top of this is that I will take chocolate like this, like the peppermint chocolate, and I'll break it up in the wrapper, just as a way to add another holiday treat in there. You can, like I said, do whatever type of topping you want. Some people will do chocolate chips. You can do M&Ms if you're feeling fancy. And so I'll just kind of dump this on top. Again, you can also do smaller chunks too. I kind of have bigger ones in here, but so that'll add in some chocolate, and then I'll also add in some almonds. And this will actually add a little bit more oomph of protein too. So if you want it to be even more satisfying, almonds are a great way to do so. You can add just about a quarter cup, or this is I think a little bit less or more than so this is a little bit more than a quarter cup. So you can do a sprinkle of almonds on top to get in that extra oomph of protein and heart healthy fats and fiber as well. And then you have a nice healthy treat for your breakfast, or you can even do it for just a snack if you're looking for something to get through the afternoon slump of not really having much energy. This will be a great way to do so. Okay, to summarize the trail mix, so I did popcorn. You can't really see much in here, but I did about 3 cups of popcorn. You can do less if you like, but I just really like popcorn. And popcorn is actually a whole grain, so it adds in a little bit more fiber compared to some other grains out there. And then also I added in about a quarter cup of almonds. Again, I happen to love almonds, and they are really good sources of heart healthy fats, protein, plant-based protein, and fiber. And then the last thing I added was that tree bark that I really liked, which is pretty sweet. So I only added about a quarter cup of it, but I just put it in this bag, reusable bag. You can put it in a mason jar or something, but it only really needs 3 ingredients. You just do one of the holiday options that you really like. And like I said, it could be peppermint bark or something of that nature, some sort of like sweetness that can give it a little bit more of an exciting flavor to it. And then you can kind of mix and match with the other like options of protein, fat, or fiber to make a really good and satisfying trail mix.